The highway was a black ribbon cutting through an endless forest. It was just me, the lonely hum of my car's engine, and the unsettling darkness pressing in from all sides. No phone signal, no signs of life for miles. It was the kind of quiet that makes you feel like you read the last person on Earth. Then a pinprick of light appeared in my rearview mirror. It grew steadily, resolving into the twin headlights of an old, rusted out truck. At first, it was a comfort, a sign I wasn't completely alone out here. But that comfort quickly soured. I took a left onto a smaller, winding road, hoping to find a shortcut back to civilization. The truck followed. I sped up a little, my unease growing. The truck matched my speed. I slowed down, pretending to look for something on the side of the road. It slowed down too, maintaining the exact same distance. A cold knot of dread tightened in my stomach. This wasn't a coincidence. 10 miles turned into 20. Every turn, every change in speed, mirrored perfectly by the vehicle behind me. My heart started hammering against my ribs. There was nowhere to go, no one to call. Up ahead, I saw the faint blue glow of a sign for a rest stop. It felt like a lifeline. I flicked my turn signal on, my hands slick with sweat, and pulled into the deserted parking lot, gravel crunching under my tires. I killed the engine, plunging myself into silence, and watched the rearview mirror. The truck's headlights swung in after me, parking a few spots away, its engine still rumbling like a sleeping beast. I held my breath, waiting, and that's when I saw it. In the back of the truck, under a dirty, tattered tarp, something was moving. It wasn't just a random shift, it was a struggle. A definite shape, a human form, pushing, writhing, trying to get free. My blood ran cold. Before I could process what I was seeing, the driver's side door of the truck creaked open. A tall, gaunt figure emerged, his movements stiff and unnatural. Even from a distance, I could see his face was pale, his eyes wide and wild, fixed directly on me. Panic, raw and absolute, seized me. I didn't think. I just reacted. I threw my car door open and sprinted, not towards the empty rest stop building, but towards the only cover I could see, the dense black woods. Branches whipped at my face as I crashed through the undergrowth, the sound of my own ragged breaths filling my ears. Behind me, I heard a heavy, rhythmic thudding. Footsteps. They were chasing me. Closer, closer, the sound of snapping twigs right at my heels. I pushed myself harder, my lungs burning, fueled by sheer terror. Through the trees, I spotted a dark silhouette, an old, dilapidated cabin. Without a second thought, I lunged for the door, found it unlocked, and slammed it shut behind me, fumbling with a rusty bolt. I pressed my back against the rough wood, my whole body trembling, listening. The footsteps stopped. Silence. A minute passed, then another. Maybe I'd lost him. Maybe I was safe. And then, from the darkest corner of the cabin, I heard a soft, scraping sound. I slowly turned my head, my eyes adjusting to the gloom. It hadn't been the driver I needed to be afraid of. Whatever was in the back of that truck, it was in here with me. Driving late at night, you know that feeling? The world shrinks down to just the twin beams of your headlights, cutting through an endless darkness. That was me just a few weeks ago, navigating a winding country road miles from anywhere. The only sound was the low hum of my engine and some forgotten song on the radio. That's when I saw him. A silhouette against the faint moonlight, standing beside a car with its hood up, waving his arm frantically. My first instinct was to keep driving. You hear stories, right? But he looked so desperate, and the good Samaritan in me won out. I pulled over. He leaned into my passenger window, a man probably in his late 40s, with a tired, weathered face. He explained his car had just died, no warning, and his phone was dead too. He just needed a lift to the next gas station, a place called Creek's Bend. The name sounded vaguely familiar, like something from a half-forgotten map. He seemed harmless enough, just a guy down on his luck. So I told him to hop in. The first few miles were quiet. I tried making small talk, but his answers were short, his gaze fixed on the road ahead. An unsettling stillness filled the car. He pointed ahead. That's it. Just up there. Sure enough, a faint, flickering sign came into view. Creek's Bend, yes. But as we got closer, my stomach tightened. This place wasn't just closed. It was abandoned. Dust-caked pumps stood like tombstones. The windows were boarded up, and the flickering sign cast long, dancing shadows that made the place look like it was breathing. I turned to him, confused. This place is deserted, I said. He didn't answer. He just stared at the derelict station. I looked back at him, and the man I picked up was gone. In his place was someone with cold, empty eyes. The tiredness was replaced by a chilling stillness. Before I could process what was happening, he moved. It was a blur. A flash of polished metal caught the light from my dashboard. It wasn't a weapon, not in the way you'd think. It was a tire iron, heavy and menacing in his grip. His voice, when it came, was a low, flat whisper. Wallet, phone, keys. There was no room for argument. My heart was hammering against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the suffocating silence. I handed everything over, my hand shaking. He got out of the car without another word, walked around to the driver's side, and pulled me out. I stood there, frozen, as he slipped into my seat, the engine still humming. He didn't speed off. He just slowly pulled away, my headlights disappearing back down the dark road I'd just come from, leaving me alone in the oppressive silence of the abandoned gas station. I was stranded, miles from anywhere, with nothing but the flickering sign and the ghosts of a place long forgotten. I eventually walked for hours before a trucker found me at dawn. But even now, safe at home, I can't shake the feeling. Sometimes when I'm driving at night, I swear I can see a figure in my rearview mirror, standing on the side of a dark road, watching me. Thanks for listening to my story. It's a chilling reminder to always trust your gut. If you enjoyed this, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the road. Stay safe out there. The road is a lonely place, especially when you're a long-haul trucker like me. You see a lot of strange things out there in the dark, but nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to what happened one moonless night on a forgotten highway slicing through the heart of nowhere. The hum of my engine was the only sound for miles. The world outside a blur of shadows. That's when I saw her. Standing by the side of the road, a lone figure in a flowing white dress, her arm raised, waving me down. Against my better judgment, I pulled over. The air felt heavy, charged with something I couldn't name. She was young, with eyes that held the profound sadness. She said she needed to get home, just a few miles up the road, to see her family. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper against the rumble of the diesel engine. I nodded, telling her to hop in. The moment she closed the door, a chill swept through the cab, so intense I saw my own breath fog in the air. My teeth started to chatter. I glanced at the thermostat. It was working fine. Shrugging it off as a weird draft, I turned my attention back to the road. She gave me the address, a quiet street on the other side of town. We drove in silence for a bit. I tried to make small talk, asking about her family, but her answers were vague, distant. Then, the radio, which had been playing a soft country tune, crackled and hissed, dissolving into a wall of static. I fiddled with the dial, trying to find another station, but it was just noise, a high-pitched shriek that grated on my nerves. Weird, I muttered, turning it off. When I glanced over to the passenger seat to see if it was bothering her, she was gone. The seat was empty. The door hadn't opened. My heart hammered against my ribs. I slammed on the brakes, the truck groaning in protest as it skidded to a halt. The cab was empty. There was no trace of her. My mind raced. Did I imagine it? Was I that tired? I took a deep, shaky breath, telling myself to stay calm. My eyes flickered up to the rearview mirror, just a reflex to check the road behind me. And that's when I saw her again. She wasn't outside. She was in my truck, reflected in the mirror, sitting in the middle of the back seat, right behind me. Her face was pale, her eyes fixed on mine with an unnerving intensity. I spun around, my blood running cold. The back seat was empty. I looked back at the mirror. She was still there, staring. A silent scream was trapped in my throat. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. She just watched me. Slowly, she raised a hand and pointed through the windshield. It wasn't toward the street she'd mentioned. She was pointing toward an old iron gate, half hidden by overgrown trees. A sign, barely legible, read Greenwood Cemetery. I don't know why, but I drove. My hands felt like they belonged to someone else as I steered the truck toward the cemetery entrance. The static on the radio died down, replaced by a hauntingly beautiful melody I'd never heard before. As I pulled up to the gate, I looked in the mirror one last time. The woman was still there, but her expression had changed. The sadness was gone, replaced by a gentle peace. She offered me a small, grateful smile, and then, like smoke, she faded away, leaving only the reflection of an empty back seat. I sat there for a long time, the engine idling, the strange melody filling the cab. I never picked up another hitchhiker after that night. Some things you see on the road, they stay with you forever. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've had a strange experience on a lonely road, share it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the road. Stay safe out there.